Have you ever heard the phrase shiny object syndrome? It's that thing where you get completely derailed by the fantastic new idea or opportunity and you end up either stretched way too thin or with just 1,000 unfinished projects on your plate. I've definitely been there and I can sympathize with you. It's like we know this is a problem, but when you're in it, it's hard to be aware of it. So I want to talk about what it is, why it's a real problem, and what we can do about it. Do you get distracted easily? And I'm not even talking about ADHD, although that does not help. I'm talking about creative people in general just getting distracted by the next big thing or idea. New exciting opportunities pop up and you abandon whatever it was that you were working on or working towards because this new thing sounds so much better and more interesting and way more exciting, right? I think it's pretty common in the art world, at least, probably the business world as well. I know a lot of business owners that have this same problem. They call it shiny object syndrome because it's like a child seeing a shiny or glittery new object or toy. It catches their eye and they immediately lose interest in the toy they were originally playing with to go play with the new toy. But the idea is that a person will abruptly stop everything they're doing, abandon all progress, all groundwork to redirect their attention somewhere else. I've been this way my whole life. I could never really tell when I was doing it before, though. That's the problem. I think most of us are guilty of this. I think that you might even be aware that you do this, but you don't really see why it's a problem. Or maybe you do see why it's a problem, but you don't care and you don't do anything to change it. And that's fair, I guess. But there's also a chance that you just don't even recognize it at all until it's way too late. Regardless, if you're trying to actually get somewhere and do something significant and actually be successful in something that you're doing, you should probably reframe the way that you're thinking about this. Like I said, I'm not innocent in this at all. And I probably fall into that category of the people who know and don't care and don't do anything to change it. Because, well, I am fucking stubborn and I get tunnel vision sometimes. And once I set my mind to something, it's like, it's really hard for me to pull myself back. So I see the shiny thing and I'm like, no, that thing. And it's tunnel vision, full steam ahead in that direction when I should have just fucking kept my eyes on the paper I was on, right? A perfect example of this is the Bluebird Art Collective that I had. In 2022, I expanded the shop to the upstairs. So I originally started downstairs in an 800-ish square foot space, hired another artist. We ran out of room. We needed to move upstairs. I had piercing as well. It was getting too cramped down there. So my landlord offered me the entire second floor. So I moved us upstairs and had this great idea that I'm going to open a gift shop downstairs. So I was going to get all the local vendors and crafters and makers to put their stuff in this gift shop and sell it in there, which I still think is a great idea. Like, I love the idea of that. However, I had to completely dilute my focus in order to juggle all of the things. So I'm running a business, I'm tattooing full time, and now I have a gift shop and I have to wrangle. I think we had about 30 or so vendors down there. And I had to make sure that was all running smoothly. Oh, and I had piercing. I had to deal with that too. And like, it was just so many things. My focus was so diluted. I had to, like, I couldn't give 100% to anything that I was doing. It took me away from being a good boss. It took me away from being a good leader. I wasn't super focused on my work that I was doing, like my tattoo work. Everything started going to shit in the shop. It affected my day-to-day, my personal life, my attitude, my overall mood. And I eventually had to take a step back and realize that was a fucking shiny object and that's not working. And I had to let it go. And as much as it was a bummer, it was super fun while it lasted. I still really love the idea. It was a bummer that I couldn't make it work, but that wasn't where my focus needed to be. It was definitely a distraction and it completely fucking derailed me. Will I come back to this idea again in the future? Probably. But I'm going to make sure that I am good when I do that and it's not just a shiny object and that there is a reason and it makes sense and I'm ready for it. So it's not all bad, right? So there's some positive things about the shiny object, which is why we do it in the first place. And I say positive very loosely because they're not real positives, but I'm going to go over them so that we can acknowledge why we're fucking like this, right? If you're always chasing after the shiny thing, you're perpetually in this honeymoon phase. So there's that intense like passion and excitement for the project or idea, and you kind of romanticize what it could be like and what you can do with this and how much fun it's going to be. And you get this high dose of dopamine and oxytocin and serotonin. But these are just the chemicals that are associated with the pleasure and reward systems in your brain. They're not real. I mean, they are real, but they're not trustworthy. We don't trust these guys. On top of that, you just have this general uncertainty and unpredictability and an unknown potential in this fresh new idea. It can be almost like a drug for some people. Hi, hello, I'm some people. It's my drug of choice. I crave chaos. I don't know why I'm like this. I think a lot of us are like this. It's just who we are. But we all know that just because we want something doesn't make it good for us. It doesn't make it right for us. It does mean the shiny object is new and exciting and ideal to our dumb baby brains. And like a lot of the beginnings of new relationships, we perceive it as perfect and we only focus on the positive and the possibilities, and we downplay all the red flags and all the potential flaws in the plan. For me, one of the most attractive parts of the glittery thing is that I'm a big fan of the ideation part. Admittedly, I'm a total fucking dreamer in every sense of the word. And there's actually this personality test that I have all my potential employees take, and it will basically tell you like what your working style is. I know that's super extra, but I just want to know what I'm getting into, who I'm going to be working with, and how we're going to make this work together. But it's called the Predictable Success, which is it? Predictable Success Leadership Quiz. Feel free to go take it and tell me what you got, because I find it super interesting. Anyway, based on your answer, you get a score in like 4 different working types. So there's operator, processor, visionary, and synergist. I scored 600 out of, I think it's like 900. 600 out of 900, I scored as a visionary, which means I scored so high that I'm almost like handicapped. That I am a dreamer and an idea person like to a fault. So if you're an artist or a business owner, you most likely fall into this category too. And you probably also suffer from the shiny object syndrome. You probably fall into this category of visionary and dreamer and idea person because coming up with ideas is your favorite part of business. And honestly, like I think I see it as my specialty. It means that I get to plan and dream and come up with a new strategy. And I've learned that I'm the type of person that just loves to build things. And I don't mean like, I don't like tinker and like, actually I fucking do. What am I saying? I don't build things with my hands. Like I do that too. Okay. I just want to build stuff in general, I guess. The physical sense of the word, and I guess the ideas and plans. But that's how I am. Like, that's the fun part for me, putting pieces together like a puzzle and figuring out how to make them work. I love the challenge of it. It's like a game to me. It's exciting. And that's the part that I'm interested in. Not all the boring shit like consistency and like following through on things or following up. Fucking boring. Like, it's definitely not my strong suit. The idea part satisfies my need to explore almost. It's like instead of exploring new places, I'm exploring these new ideas, but following through on them, not so much. Which is why I need to be paired with somebody who scored high as an operator in this test, because they ground me and they get me to the point of follow through. So all of that are reasons that it's fun and exciting and shiny and bright to us. But unfortunately, it all comes with some serious cons, more like consequences. Because when you only focus on chasing after the excitement and the high of that honeymoon phase or on a project or idea, once it's built and once it starts to get difficult, and you have to get into a routine where it's all familiar and it's all the same all the time, it's not as fun and we get bored. And then we start looking for a way out. And when you get to that point, your eyes start to wander and you're open to new potential ideas and projects. And next thing you know, you're abandoning this one to chase after the next one. And for me, it's almost like the more I feed into chasing the new thing, the faster I get bored with the current one. Because now I'm out here just fucking dopamine chasing. And one of our biggest problems is that you never give yourself the opportunity to get good at something before you quit it. You start to convince yourself that you don't want it anymore and that it's not right for you because it doesn't come easy anymore. And you hit some sort of friction and there's obstacles that you have to overcome and it's just too hard. I've even caught myself trying to convince myself that if it's this difficult, it can't be right for me. I quit, I give up, and I go after the next big thing. And guess what? All roads lead to fucking obstacles every single time. You can't escape them. There's never going to be just a smooth ride and no bumps in the road. They're all inevitable. And if you keep rerouting and starting over, you're never going to get that reward or that success that comes on the other side of the difficult thing. And you're never going to finish anything. You're not actually working towards anything if you're just going in circles and starting over constantly. There's also situations where we don't fully quit the first thing and we're just adding more shit to our plate. And that's what I end up doing constantly. I get bored and I just keep piling on ideas and new projects. And it's as if I'm not already drowning. I'm like, sure, I'll take on a new thing. Like, why not? That sounds fun. But what happens is my focus starts to get diluted. And now I'm trying to split my time, my energy, my creativity, my money in several different directions. And it just doesn't work. There's this quote that has stuck with me for a while now, and I have to keep reminding myself of it. I should honestly just like frame it and put it on the wall where I can see it at all times. But it's a guy named Rory Vaden who says, when you have diluted focus, you get diluted results. You can only really focus on one thing at a time. Any more than that, you'll either be severely slowing down your progress or making zero progress at all. I intentionally planned this episode to come after the episode where I talk about setting goals for next year, because if you use the workbook that I made for you, you'll likely have a lot of different goals that you're working towards. And I want to make sure you hear me when I say you cannot focus on all of them at the same time, or you will get nothing and nowhere. You're going to have to choose the most important ones and focus there. And if you're trying to create new habits, you honestly are only going to be able to create one new habit at a time. Master the first one, and then you can add on to it. Focus on one goal, one habit, make it a routine, get it under control, make it boring, and then you can add your next one. And I promise this thought alone will save you so much time spinning tires and running in place. There's an old proverb that I think also explains it perfectly. The man who chases two rabbits catches neither. It gives you a great visual of what exactly we're doing here. So if we're going after all of the things all at once, we're never getting anywhere. We're never getting anything. The truth that none of us wants to hear or believe is that it's better to go all in on one idea. Give 100% to one project than it is to give 20% to 5 different directions. The growth that you're looking for is in the boring, mundane, monotonous part. I hate to break it to you, but that is the reality. And all of that time and repetition is what fine-tunes and improves and progresses things little by little. It's overcoming obstacle after obstacle and learning lessons from all of those annoying failures, and that's the thing that's going to move you forward. But if you can get past that part and create a system and something that works without you and stick with it, it will eventually free up your time and allow you the mental space to go after that next thing if that's what you really want. In the moment, giving up the annoying, difficult, or boring thing can feel like the right choice, and it can feel like a relief. It can give you that spark of excitement that you're craving, but keep in mind that even that next shiny object will eventually bring you to this exact same point. If you don't quit too soon and you keep your focus on that one thing, there's no way that you won't eventually get a reward from it. Once you've decided what your goals are, don't give up until you've absolutely crushed them. The reward is so worth the time that you've invested.